Hey guys, my name is Ava Ross and I'm here today interviewing the Treasurer of Hamilton County, Jill Schiller. Ms. Schiller, how are you?
Great, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Are you ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, okay. My first question is, what does it entail being an elected official for the treasurer job?
So the purpose of the treasurer is to collect all of the property taxes and real estate taxes in Hamilton County. So basically we take in all of the money that then gets sent back out to school districts, the zoo, the library, the parks. So it's a pretty important job that way, because without getting it in, we don't have anything to send out. We work a lot with homeowners who may have trouble paying their taxes, and that's the part of the job I think I enjoy the most, trying to help people on a one-to-one level stay in their homes. But it's a pretty limited job by statute, collect taxes, but we try to do a lot more in terms of getting out there and helping people figure out how to buy homes, if homeownership is right for them. Like I said, if they have problems paying their taxes, things like that.
Cool. So can you describe an average workday?
I don't know if there is an average workday.
I get that.
A lot of the time in a county of this size it's an administrative job, right? A lot of managing, because I have a great staff some of whom have been here one of whom has been here for almost 50 years. So they know what they're doing, but in terms of, making sure that things are running smoothly, that we've updated our policies, that we're staying abreast of change, that's, all part of the job for sure. And then there's meetings with other community officials, other elected officials. If we have areas of projects that we're trying to work on together, sometimes we collaborate with the city on projects that they're working on. So yeah, it kind of changes.
That's cool. So when you're working to create a change in our community, what other officials do you work with?
So I would say commonly it's the other countywide electeds. So it might be one or all of the three commissioners. Frequently the auditor, our offices work together really closely, the recorder, the clerk of courts. Those tend to be the areas where we have the most collaboration. And then we've also worked closely with some council members and the mayor from time to time on other projects.
That's cool. So how do your roles coincide?
Well, they're all separate for sure. Each office does have very different responsibilities, but particularly with the auditor's office, I always joke to taxpayers that I don't set them, I just collect them.
Mm-hmm.
So Auditor Kelly's office would set your tax rate based on the appraisal and other factors like what levies have been voted in by your particular locality. And we work a lot together on foreclosed properties and things like that. So those are the two most, the treasurer and the auditor are the most closely related, I would say.
Cool. When you were in school, were you aware of this career?
Not at all.
Not at all. So what did you go to college for to sort of get into this?
I was an English major
Oh,
in
cool.
undergrad, yeah. And then worked at an ad agency for a short period of time, and then went to law school. Worked as a lawyer for a period of time, founded a children's literacy foundation in Philadelphia, a nonprofit that works on after-school tutoring, creative writing programs, things like that. Worked at the White House in the Office of Management and Budget in the Obama administration, and then we moved here about 12 years ago.
That's awesome.
And so then I basically worked as a consultant in management and communications. So
That's crazy. That's so cool.
What's fun about it is, like, whenever I talk to like girls your age, kids your age, and they say, well, I don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I mean, if you know you want to be a doctor, that's usually the only people I know who are really sure about what they want to do, then good for you. But I think for most people, no one knows, and you just kind of take something that seems interesting and hope for the best. And so, through being a lawyer, obviously politics has always been around.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until 2018 that I really got involved. I had an unsuccessful run for Congress in Ohio's 2nd District.
But how did you become aware of the treasurer job?
So through running for Congress and my involvement with my party's organization, you become much more familiar with the offices, just as you grow up and you pay property taxes too. And after losing my congressional race, I really had caught the bug for public service at that point. Not that I mean, it's always kind of been there, obviously, through the nonprofits and the government work, but it seemed like an office I could make a real difference in, particularly like I was saying, with helping homeowners and educating students on finances and saving money. So yeah, it seemed like a really interesting role if I were able to get into it. Yeah.
So, well, you just answered that. So what was your election process like?
It was weird because it was 2020.
Oh, okay. So did you run against anyone?
I did, yeah. I ran against a fairly well-known former city council member, Charlie Wimburn, and he'd run countywide 2 or 3 times prior. So it was a really uphill battle. Usually you're out in parades and you're going to all these meetings, and that year was spent in front of my computer on Zoom campaign meetings. But it was doubly hard to make sure that you got your name out there and your platform out there when you're really restricted in how you can interact with people. So I'm up again next year, so it'll be a whole different experience and much more regular. Oh yeah.
So is your role a nonpartisan role?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay.
Well, actually, I'm gonna expand on that a little bit.
Okay.
It is not a nonpartisan role. When I run, I have a letter after my name, but we have, obviously it's Ohio, we have a lot of Republican county treasurers, and we have a county treasurers association, and the focus that it seems most of us have is the same. On a person-to-person level, when we get together for our yearly meetings, our annual conference, we find a lot of agreement in our group on what's important to the organization, what's good for the taxpayers, the actual statutory duty, collecting taxes. I would say, there's probably not much partisan about that, because you either pay or you don't pay your taxes. But I think in terms of prioritizing how you collect delinquent taxes and where you go to look for creative solutions, for working with municipalities for problem properties and things like that, there's a little bit of lean that can come in one way or another. So I do think it matters, just not, it's not an overwhelming part of the job.
Gotcha. Okay, I'll cut that out. Don't worry. So what's one thing in your career that you're most proud of that you've accomplished?
I think it's the work that I've done in this office. We've been, especially in the aftermath of COVID, working really hard to connect people with the federal dollars that are still out there to help pay their property taxes, their mortgage, their rent. So we've been organizing community events and getting out there as much as possible, just to let people know, because if we can't get it to your pocket, it's not doing anybody any good. I've been really proud of the way that we've been opening the office up to the community and making sure people know how we can help them.
That's cool. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me. That's all the questions I have.
Great.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.